This is Shutout Sessions with KyTheGoalie, and today's guest is a certified sniper. This dude can rip it from wherever on the field. He drops absolute bangers on TikTok and YouTube, and somehow balances being a college athlete, content creator, and youth lacrosse coach. We're talking his lacrosse journey, creator life, and offensive player mindset. Let's welcome Rett Canon, aka CanonLax. How are you doing today?
I'm good. What's up? KyTheGoalie, it's an honor, dude. Thank you so much for having me.
It's an honor to have you on. Let's get right into it. Let's start at the very beginning. When was the first time you picked up a lacrosse stick?
I was probably 6 years old. Maybe 2000, maybe 2005 was the first time I picked up a lacrosse stick. It was a brine harpoon. It said harpoon on it. It was red and silver, and it had bright red factory mesh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was a
Do
cool
you,
stick.
do you happen to still have it?
I don't know what happened to that thing. I think about it often now. There was another one that came out at the same time that was blue, and it was called the Brine Ripper. I bet we could pull them up on the internet.
Yeah, well, if editors do your thing, we can pull up a picture of if we find a
The
picture of the
Brine
stick, we'll pull it
Harpoon.
up. Yeah.
Also, who told you I was a sniper? I just look like I can shoot the ball on Instagram. I never shoot the ball over like 9 yards in a game. Never. I think the fastest I've ever clocked my shot, like a true step down, like with time and room, nobody around me, was 92 max.
That's kind of me. When I played attack, I in the summer I played attack. I had an extra goalie, so we had the extra goalie, and I played attack. I have one clip. I hit top left from like maybe 10 yards out. Hit top left. I have that one clip, and I use it in almost every single like clip of me shooting ever.
That's
So
awesome.
that's my one clip.
If
So
I'm
it's really
scoring for
nice.
more than 10, it's really rare, and it is 100% a low to low worm burner.
All right. If you weren't playing lacrosse, what sport would you have played?
I mean, I played football and basketball growing up. I was not good. I had moments on the C team in football where I would score touchdowns and have good runs and kick returns and things like that. But football is definitely not the answer. I was 150 pounds my senior year, 6'2", playing football. I was trash. So not football. Basketball I wasn't that good at either. I'm way better now. Maybe maybe I would have been good at squash if I had focused on it in my youth. But I don't know. Lacrosse was always something that I felt like I could continuously get better at because mainly because of the stick skills aspect.
Yeah, I tried out for my school basketball team. Oh my gosh. I felt like I was the last one in every line, the last in shooting, the last in dribbling. I'm not good at basketball. I tried. Don't think the results really showed up as I tried, but it was really fun. I like basketball too. I do that in my free time, one of my hobbies.
That's my second favorite sport to play just as pickup. I love to go to the YMCA and play pickup hoops, and I did it in college all the time with intramurals and stuff in my undergrad. But I did not make any of the basketball teams in seventh or eighth grade. I got cut completely.
Yeah, I don't think I made the cut. Yeah. Did you always play offense growing up?
Yes, I've played offense my entire life. Yeah, no, there was never a time where I was subbed in as a D midi, and there was never a time where I've owned a pole. Yeah, I've never like gone to the store and picked out a pole. Every pole I've ever had, I got off Facebook Marketplace, and I like to play pole and mess around sometimes. But no, I've always played O midi or attack.
Dang, really? Oh my gosh. Usually when you see like a older player, like when they grow up, they usually play like another either another sport or another position on the field. That's crazy that you've only played attack.
Yeah, well, I played attack in the MCLA, and then when I went to Reinhardt for my first master's degree, I got moved to O midi immediately. I just was not good enough to play on that attack line. Um, some ballers on that attack line: Cam Cochran, J.R. Sess. So that just those two guys are two NAIA Players of the Year, and then Brady Hannick, who was just unbelievable. Both those guys, I mean, all three of those guys, I think had maybe over 60 points each in my first master's degree. But I think I am a much better midfielder than I am an attackman, to be honest.
How did you end up playing at Reinhardt University? What was the recruiting process like?
So there wasn't really a recruiting process. I was sitting at work one day at a corporate job in Dallas, Texas, and I, Lacrosse All Stars, that Instagram?
Yeah.
I looked at a Lacrosse All Stars post and they were doing preseason poll rankings of NAIA teams. And I saw teams like Benedictine, Indiana Tech, Kaiser, Weber, Reinhardt, and I thought, what what are these schools? I've never heard of any of these. Are these NCAA? What division is this? And I looked a little deeper into it and I found out what NAIA lacrosse was. And then I didn't think about it. I thought, oh, that's cool, interesting. A couple of days later, my friend Christian Zarcone, he committed to a school called Indiana Tech, and they're pretty good. They're in the WAC conference and they win lots of games. Um, so he committed there, and I thought, what the heck? Like, somebody I know is now going there. I have 2 years of eligibility left. I want to play, so I called Christian, and he told me all about what the NAIA was like. So I made some highlight tapes and I started sending them to coaches. And the Reinhardt coach at the time, Coach Yelkin, awesome guy. I love Tyler Yelkin. He's the man. He is the head coach of the women's team at Savannah College of Art and Design. Right now, go Bees. And he was like, yeah, like, let's talk about this. Let's see what you're thinking, what you're trying to get a master's degree in. We think we've got a spot for you on the team. And then next thing I know, that August, I was packing up my car and I drove 12 hours to Georgia for the first time in my life. And I walked onto Reinhardt's campus moving into a dorm as a 24-year-old, which was a wild experience for me. But yeah, not really a recruiting process. It was all done on Instagram
In that moment when you were sitting in your job on your desk or whatever you were you even thinking about lacrosse?
every day. I'm always thinking
Really?
about lacrosse, guy. I love it so much. I'm always thinking about lacrosse. I knew when COVID happened that I wasn't done playing. I knew I had a little bit more gas left in the tank. The last game I played in Los Angeles was in Long Beach, actually, and we played Cal State University Long Beach. We won that game, and we left that field, and that right there was a lot of my teammates' last game ever. And I ended up graduating from LMU in 2021. COVID passed, and I didn't know how it would happen, but I knew I wasn't done. So yes, to answer your question in a short form, hell yeah, I was thinking about lacrosse. Of course.
What was your favorite college memory?
One of my favorite memories, and this is kind of a Reinhardt tradition, is we go out to the quarry, which is a little bit outside of campus. It's about a 2-mile hike up a mountain to a quarry, and we all go swimming and we hang out, listen to music. And that's typically done at the very start of the semester. I didn't do it this fall, but I did it my first year. So, getting to meet the guys, looking back on it now at my relationships with those guys, years later, it's very cool to think, oh, wow, like we were just meeting then. And now I have, so many memories with these great friends of mine. So probably that's a big one.
What were the facilities like at Reinhardt?
Facilities at Reinhardt are good, and they're continuously getting better. And we're building a wall ball, not facility, but just a big wall on the tennis court. So that was getting cleaned up. The locker room is sweet. It's an old squash court, so it has super tall ceilings. Everybody gets their own locker. It's very unique. All the championship banners are on the wall. It's always super cold in there, which I like. Weight room's nice. The turf field at Reinhardt, you've been there, right?
Yeah.
That field, I love it. I think it is so pretty with all the trees, and the fans go crazy and bring cowbells to our games. So yeah, good facilities. It's a nice school. It's very pretty.
What was the nicest stadium or facilities you've ever played at?
I was in the All-Star game my going into my junior year summer, at some tournament. I can't remember, but maybe it was Dom Starge's tournament, and I got to play in that All-Star game in the University of Delaware's Blue Hen football stadium. So that was cool. I looked at that roster on Twitter not too long ago, the two All-Star rosters, and on the other side was Cross Ferrara. Funny enough, I looked back on it and I was like, what the heck? That's so cool that he was on the other team. He's a little bit better than me, to say the least. He's doing great out in the PLL. Shout out to the D3 legend himself. Salisbury, baby.
You're killing it on TikTok, IG, and YouTube. What made you start creating content?
Oh, I appreciate you saying that. I wouldn't say I'm killing it. I'm making some stuff happen. I just love lacrosse, and the way I saw it was like, I want to get myself out of my comfort zone and show people how passionate I truly am about this. I had a great job in Houston for about a little over a year working for the Houston Texans in their ticket sales department. And my passion was truly always coaching. So I was continuing to do that on the side. I quit that job in December to focus on, my family, my physical and my mental health, and kind of get my life realigned. And when I came home to Dallas, Texas, I thought, you know what? I want something that holds me accountable and, is able to help me get private lessons and also showcase my love for sports broadcasting. So that's kind of how CanonLax came about. Two guys, James Collins and Mike Kutzer, who own a company called the Next Level Lacrosse, which is a lot of training services in Dallas. They really helped me gain confidence in myself to make me feel as though I was able to put things out there into the internet and just be an authentic version of myself in the world of lacrosse. So shout out to them for sure. But it's really just a way for me to express myself while also trying to grow the game. Because at the end of the day, my biggest passion is youth lacrosse and playing. I just love it. I have so much fun. But yeah, I think what it's turned into is me trying to advertise myself as kind of a face and a media personality within the game, but also as a coach and a sports broadcaster, because that's what I think I want to do long term.
That's amazing. Do you do your own editing when you're making videos, or does someone else do that?
Some of them I do, but a good chunk of them, like the nicer ones, a guy named Jet Lewis Media does them. So Jet helps me out a lot. I have a really funny video coming out here pretty soon on Halloween. I won't send any spoilers, but it's a little bit controversial. At least it will be. But he does such a good job. Jet really helps me out. So he did my Play Lax Day videos, but like the Labubu video I did, and then I just use like Instagram edits for most of them. But like the videography, like other people's highlights, I don't do any of that. I just do like some of the stuff I film by myself, I'll do, but the nicer, higher quality videos, Jet helps me out with them.
I really enjoy your stick videos where you're taking shots with different sticks. What gave you that idea?
Truman Southern gave me that idea. Shoddy Southern, he's a legend. Ole Miss grad out in North Carolina, doing a great job with the sport and with his media. Super funny guy. I really like Truman. He was doing a video and I DM'd him and I was like, hey, like, I hope you don't mind. I love your stick setup videos. Like, is it cool if I do it? And he was like, yeah, go ahead. So that's kind of how I started doing those. I haven't done one of those in a while. Sorry, I keep looking down because Harley is just begging for attention. But I need to do one of those here pretty soon. But I'm not made of sticks, so lacrosse sticks are expensive. If they weren't, I'd have every single one possible.
Yeah, same. What type of content do you enjoy making the most?
Man, that's a tough question. Honestly, sometimes I wonder if I even do enjoy making content. I think that, like a lot of people, I can make something that might be great and then think, oh my God, this is so stupid. I look like an idiot. Like, for example, you've seen the video where I talk about girls lacrosse. Yeah, we talked about that on TikTok. I think I look so dumb and stupid in that video, and so do so many other people. But I had a feeling it was going to do well. So I was like, I got to post it. Plus, that's truly what I believe. Like, regardless of all the people on TikTok giving me crap and Instagram saying, like, leave our sport alone, like, whatever. Like, me personally, I think it would be more fun if it was that way. Um, but what content do I enjoy making the most? Probably like coaching content. Yeah, I guess coaching content. And I haven't even made that much. But when I say coaching, I don't mean like me doing tips and stuff. I think there's a lot of really good people in that space. For example, like, have you seen Drive Lacrosse Academy? His name's Connor Drake. He's a Duke graduate. He is so good with his drills and his tips and tricks on how to become a better athlete and player. Another really good one out of Dallas is Austin Early Elevation. He does such a good job at the lacrosse barn. That's not necessarily what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like the lighter side of lacrosse, like kids dodging on me and me trying to detwig them and stuff like that. I think I enjoy that the most.
In your opinion, what does it take to be a high level attackman or midi?
I think you need to have high IQ, which I really don't have sometimes, me personally. But from my coaching perspective, I think you need to make quick decisions that aren't going to turn the ball over. You know, I see this a lot in the youth sport. Kids have an open shot from about 6 yards and they think they can find something better. Whereas you need to just be decisive in that moment and pull the trigger. I think the best attackmen make the right decisions 9 out of 10 times and they do it very quickly.
Yeah. What's your go-to pregame or game day routine?
Man, my undergraduate pregame routine would be a lot different than my master's degree pregame routine. The difference between a 20-year-old and, Unk, as you see here. But I wake up, I eat breakfast. I typically shower before the game. Not like before the game, but the day of. I will typically take a shower that morning. But I really only eat breakfast. And then let's say it's an afternoon game, I will probably skip lunch and then just have a snack before the game. I'm always listening to music pretty much every day of my life, but I will try to make an effort to listen to more music that locks me in. Sometimes I'll watch lacrosse highlights. Maybe I'll throw on Chris Walker or Case Mathias or, Ryder Garnsey, Brewster Academy, stuff like that, just to get me locked in. But not really a routine. I wouldn't say I'm very dialed, to be honest.
What's your weapon of choice and who strings it?
My weapon of choice always differs. I typically like nowadays a carbon or a composite shaft of sorts because my theory is I would rather have my shaft break and split in half than me bend it. Because I just don't want to play with a bent shaft. It bothers me and I hate looking down the barrel of the shaft and seeing it bent because it makes me think it throws me off. And I typically do that with a lot of alloys and metal shafts. So right now I'm rocking an Icon Pro with an old school Warrior Evo 5 that I got on sideline swap from Graham Blake. But I'm thinking if I were to do a like a setup of choice right now, I'd probably go a white STX fiber with the brand new Surgeon 1K. I'd probably do some Hero Mesh, 2 shooters that are rolled, or just 1 shooter that's rolled with a nylon, and I would have Tucker Strings string it for me at Tucker Strings on Instagram, or I'd have PRZ Strings string it for me. Another one would be Austin at the Lacrosse Barn. So one of those 3 guys, I know I couldn't go wrong.
I got a 1K right here.
Is that the Surgeon
Unstrung.
or is that the Stallion?
This is, wait, one sec. I need to
I
check.
think
Is this a
it's a
surgeon?
Surgeon.
Yeah, it's a surgeon. This is really nice head.
That's exactly
Uh,
what I'm talking. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Some kid brought it to practice the other day, and I thought this thing is sweet because I had an ACP Surgeon, my freshman year of high school, and I loved it. But that's way better. That it looks so good.
it's like, it just feels like it'd be good at picking up ground balls and it's just like sturdy. So you know it's not gonna warp or bend. It just feels nice.
Yeah, that's a
Like
good head. I think it comes with like the STX Endura form. It's part of their technology. I'm not quite sure, but that one, the 1K line is strong. I like that head a lot.
Do you have any lacrosse superstitions?
If I wear a pair of socks and I play terribly in them, I don't want to wear those socks again when I play in them. What else? I think about this often actually. I will a lot of times play with one chin strap off. I don't start the game like that, but somehow it ends up like that. I'll take it off eventually and I won't really realize it. But if I play poorly with the chin strap off, I'll lock it back up. Or if I'm playing terribly with the chin strap on, I'll take one off. So maybe that's a good one. But otherwise, I'm not very superstitious for the most part.
Yeah, I don't really get the people that they have to have their certain pair of socks and they have to have a different pair of socks on their right foot and they can't wear a they have to wear a different glove on their left and all this. I don't really get my superstitions. I don't really get those.
Yeah.
So you also played on Mitchell Pelkey's creator team over the summer. How did you become a part of that team?
I mean, I kind of had to beg a little bit. I don't know if you saw the video, but that's kind of how I got on. I was sitting there, and the girl I was talking to at the time, and it was now my girlfriend, she sent me Mitchell Pelkey's post about how he was looking for more people, and I thought, okay, what can I do to get his attention? So I had a bunch of my friends and their friends, comment on his comment section and tag me, basically like, you need CanonLax, you got to get CanonLax. And I'm sure he saw it, but it wasn't enough. So I thought, okay, I'm going to call Jet and I'm going to create this idea for a video to get his attention. So I don't know if you've seen it, but I start that video out and I go, Mitchell Pelkey. And I put his name on the screen and I'm like, here are the reasons why you need me on Team Hit the Frog. And I was funny about it. And next thing you know, he commented within like 20 minutes. And then I was on the phone with some guys and we ended up making it happen. So shout out to Mitch for that. It was a blast. He's a great guy. I love what he's doing for the sport. Super fun team. We got to get the dub this next summer though, because we took a fat L in the championship game to those to those Cortland guys. They gave us the business. They were a really tough team, but loved meeting those guys. Miles Dubois, Only Varo, ECD Winston, Carson, D3 Hero, Mitchell, Hoopify, Duncan, Drew Duncan, just great dudes all across that team. It was a ton of fun.
I know you fell short in the championship game. What's something different you can do next year?
Man, I think we just got to play better lacrosse. I think there were definitely some times where everybody was caught clip farming, including myself. That doesn't always get the job done. It got us far enough, but we couldn't quite seal the deal. So next time, I think we're just gonna lock in and be like, okay, we're trying to finish this thing out.
Did you know anyone before joining the team?
The only person I had ever met prior to joining the team was Truman Southern because his Ole Miss team came down to Texas and they played against Texas State, and I was on the call for the broadcast of that game. So I got to meet him and interview him afterward.
Who had the best stick skills on the team?
Probably Drew Duncan. I mean, I think he was the best player. ECD Carson has great stick skills, though, I will say. Carson has really good stick skills. But I think the best players were Michael Meredith, who's now at UVA, and Drew Duncan.
How's the youth lacrosse scene in Texas?
It's awesome. I just got done with a second grade club team, Hound Dogs practice. We have a tournament this weekend. There's a bunch of ballers on that team. I think, 20 years later from when I started, these kids are way better off. I think the Texas lacrosse scene is blowing up. Youth lacrosse is huge. There's so many good players in Austin, Houston, San Antonio, Dallas. And I think the sky's the limit. But it's tough in Texas because football is just king. I know you know that because you're in Georgia too. And I don't think it will be like the East Coast simply because too many people love football, and I love football too. But it's good. I think Highland Park Lacrosse is a top 20 program, top 25 program. they can run with a lot of teams. Like they play Culver and they're not out there getting crushed by any means. Like they are right there with them for the majority of the game. And I think here pretty soon, Coach Pressler is gonna kick this thing into next gear, and Highland Park's gonna be even better than they were. But also, you can't sleep on Dallas Jesuit or ESD or Southlake or St. Mark's. There's good players at all these schools. Texas lacrosse is really coming up.
Yeah, in Georgia, you talk about the football scene in Texas. In Georgia, it's crazy. We got Buford. They're like ranked like
Yeah,
they're
they're so good.
30,
Roswell,
yeah,
Lambert.
35 like in the nation. They have like five-star players on their team,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of you don't really see a lower sport like lacrosse that's kind of not one of the most top four most known sports like in the world right now. And it's kind of hard to really get the word out when you live in a football or a basketball hotbed like as like Georgia or Texas or Florida or states like that.
Mm-hmm. I hear what you're saying. But yeah, there's lots of good players in Georgia. So many.
Do you plan on pursuing coaching after college?
Yeah, I think that's the plan for now. I think the main things that I want to pursue are just CanonLax, my Instagram as a whole. But coaching is definitely one of the things. If I were to be a coach, I'd want to be a head coach at a high school. And, I know I just talked about my passion for youth lacrosse, so I'll always have a hand in that. But I think I'd love to be a coach at a high school. But if that doesn't work out, or if that's not in God's plan for me, I think that I really would love to be a sports broadcaster for football, basketball, but mainly lacrosse. I do have a dream of calling the game at the D1 level eventually. Like if I could do Ohio State, Michigan, that would be the peak for me. I would love to do color commentary for the Big Ten or even the ACC or the Patriot League. Any of them would just be amazing.
Yeah, after like my lacrosse days are over, I think I want to be a sports broadcaster too. I think that's just like literally one of the coolest jobs a human being could have.
For sure.
Like if you're not playing in the game or you're not coaching the game, sports broadcasting where everyone's hearing your voice is like it's just like really cool to think about and just like be a part of in the booth.
Yeah, and I think you'd be great at it. There's probably some opportunities for you to maybe call some games for your school or maybe a local high school. That's how you get started. I mean, I had always wanted to do it, but I had never done it until I got a call from Game on Sports Network asking me to do Baylor versus Kansas Club Lacrosse in Waco, Texas. And I said, yeah, absolutely. And I had so much fun. So it is a blast.
What's something most people don't know about you but should?
I love music. Music is probably my favorite thing. Maybe even more so than lacrosse. I think that if I didn't pursue lacrosse the way I did or sports in general, I probably in another life would have loved to just be a pianist and write songs and things like that. So I played a lot of piano growing up. I was in a lot of musicals. I did a lot of theater, and that's something I have a big passion for. I love movies, but more so than anything, music. Really, really love music.
You built a strong following, and where do you want to take all this media stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I want to continue to grow and just have fun with what I'm doing because I'm passionate about it. But ideally, I'd like to be able to use the portfolio I'm creating and the brand that I'm creating as a way to create more opportunities for myself. So, if you had told me I was going to play for Mitchell's team, I would have been like, yeah, right. Or if you had told me I was going to, be traveling down to Austin, Texas to do their game versus SMU and the University of Florida in the MCLA, I'd be like, yeah, right. Doors keep opening for me, and I'm incredibly grateful and incredibly blessed to be able to do what I've been able to do in less than a year. So I'm just excited to see where this takes me. I'm very lucky to be in the position I am with a future ahead of me. But more so than anything, I just think my life and its purpose is to grow this game and to bring it to youth. And I'm having fun, so we'll see what happens. I'm just going to keep making stupid lacrosse videos or informational lacrosse videos about gear and see where it takes me.
I've seen the CanonLax merch around. I've even seen ECD Greg wearing it in a video. Do you plan on dropping more merch down the line?
That is the plan eventually, but I had to stop because I'm going back to Reinhardt, and doing the merch is a lot. You got to print the labels, you got to package them up, you got to get licensing, trademark stuff. There's so many steps. And I was planning on opening a Shopify, and it got to the point where I was like, I can't focus on this and do my school and do my coaching. So I would say merch will be coming within 10 months, 8 months. We'll see. I like the stuff I was making. I think some of it's pretty cool. And I'm really happy that a lot of people have been wanting to rep it. So yeah, hopefully in the next 8 to 10 months, I'll be making some more.
All right, we got to talk. You've
Okay.
got 3 degrees already.
I
How
have
does
2
it feel?
degrees.
2 degrees. You're working on your third right now. Sorry. How
Yeah,
does it
I'm
feel?
looking at him. You want to see him?
Yeah, I want to see him. Oh, he's got him right behind the setup. That's
Yeah, I got
amazing.
the degrees right here. I'm working on my third.
Yeah. You're working on your third right now. How does it feel to be the unk on your lacrosse team right now?
Man, it's funny. It's funny. I don't think there's an older player than me in the NAIA. In fact, I'd be shocked if there was. There's another kid named Keegan at Kaiser who's so good. He's a baller. I think he's 25 though, and I'm older than that. How does it feel to be unk? It's funny, dude. I mean, I love those guys, and they crack me up, and I think I crack them up at times. And we're just, at the end of the day, we're just a bunch of dudes who have the same goal in mind, and that's to compete and, try and win a national championship. So, yeah, they give me crap for it. There's a guy on the team that calls me Gramps. A lot of them do call me Unk. But, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm just grateful I get to be on the team and play lacrosse one more time. I feel really lucky.
You're like the Haynes King of lacrosse. You're like oldest guy on the team.
Haynes King is nasty, dude. Georgia Tech looks good.
Yeah, Georgia Tech and Florida, those are my 2 college teams. So
Okay.
really like Haynes King. Hopefully he, I don't know, finds another year somehow, got like another COVID year doing something, lands
Well,
up on the
if he
roster
needs some
again.
advice on how to get some eligibility, he can come talk to me.
All right, it's time for one of my favorite segments on the entire show. Rip it or skip it. Rip it means you like it, and skip it means you skip it. All right, you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Goalies who chirp after every single save.
Rip it.
Players who wear eye black just for the vibe.
Rip it.
TikTok dances for sellies.
Not as much, but rip it.
Pre-game speeches that sound like TED Talks.
Rip it, for sure.
Flow or buzz cut.
Flow.
Shooting with a weighted shaft.
Oh, skip it.
Warming up the country music.
Skip it.
Parents yelling shoot it every time their kid touches the ball.
Skip it.
Texas Heat practices.
You gotta rip it. There's no other way. You gotta rip it.
There
They're
we
not
go.
the best, but you gotta rip it.
That was good. That was good. All right. Where can people find you online?
CanonLax on Instagram. CanonLax. TikTok is the same. YouTube is the same. I primarily have been focusing on the Instagram because that's just what I've always used and had. But yeah, that's where you can find me. Hopefully you can find me more places in the future. You can find me at KyTheGoalie. Now you can at least.
What's the one last thing you want young lacrosse players to know about being successful at the next level?
I think you need to be respectful of your teammates regardless of the scenario. At the end of the day, the team is the most important thing, and you need to be willing to sacrifice your own shine, your own playtime in order to do what's best for the team. It can be really frustrating at times because I think most athletes believe that they deserve to be on the field. I can think of countless times where I've ridden the bench and felt like I should be out there contributing, but it simply wasn't my time. So always be the guy who's ready to step in when your name is called. Always celebrate your boys on the sidelines, there are enough wins in this life to go around. So always be happy to see somebody else have success. Because at the end of the day, if you continue to work hard, you're going to find it too. But being a good teammate is the most important thing. This is a team game. There's 6 dudes out there, right? I think assisted goals are better than an unassisted goal because 2 people get on the stat sheet. And my favorite thing about lacrosse isn't actually playing it or winning games or scoring goals. It's the people I've gotten to meet in the locker room. So be a good teammate. Be respectful of your coaches. Be a good teammate.
That's amazing advice. Huge shout out to Rett for stopping by and dropping some serious gems on playing, coaching, and creating. If you're chasing your dreams like he is, remember, it's all about consistency, confidence, and loving the game. Smash that like button, share this with your teammates, and make sure to follow Shutout Sessions with KyTheGoalie on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. I'm KyTheGoalie. Stay humble, stay hungry, and I'll see you in the crease. Peace.
Thanks, Kai. Appreciate you, bro.